what other concerns you guys have or considerations that I can try and address?
Well, like you said, new marriages are always, there's lots of promises in the beginning. We've gone through that with health insurance. Looks good when they're giving us their apples to apple, and then when you get into it, things somehow change and go up. Same thing if you're buying tires for the county. Tire store gives you a sweet deal, and you change, and then you go through the cost of changing. So I understand what you're saying there, although whenever I look at the bills, the main thing is the $82.50 an hour, and the other proposal we've gotten is approximately $20,000 less a year. Now, like I just got done prefacing with, who knows if that will actually be what occurs after a year. But there has already been some dialogue with the other company in terms of some problems here, and they've had good success, not just Stacy, but the IT guy, Tim, and in my opinion, I think you've done a great job of speaking and tugging at all of our heartstrings. But I just wonder if maybe it's just a dollar too late, in my opinion, because we kind of already started the process. So, but that's just me. I'll let the other two speak.
Well, like I said, I've been here long enough that I've heard complaints from everyone. And the upgrade thing, I guess what struck me, I guess for no better word to come up with, wrong with that is you go and buy a car and they offer you an extended warranty. That's kind of how that struck me.
Sure.
You know, and like, I don't deal with this day to day like Stacy does or like Cindy does. We're not down here but one day a week. I'm not computer literate at all. I can woodpecker along and type an email, and that's about it. But they deal with it on a day to day basis, and if they're not happy, we're probably not going to be happy. And we have conflicting views right here in the room. And I just think we have to do what's best for the whole courthouse. And dollar-wise, and you're right, the dollars has been, I wasn't here, I don't believe, when you guys set up, but I was here when the phone systems came in. And dollars has always been a big issue. That before Cindy, it was Mary, and Mary said, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I don't want to know what I'm doing. And she handed it to Cindy, and Cindy has went along and understood some of it and some of it not. And now Tim is helping. And we're just trying to get by on the dollar that we have, and I think that the dollar is probably the...
Well, let's talk about that. So, on the dollar piece, you know, I gave my cost-effective talk here a couple minutes ago, and I don't know what the other company, you know, is proposing, but for significantly less money, as you stated, $20,000 a year. So that's what, $1,200 a month, $1,300, or more than that, $1,400 a month, less than what we're doing today. So that $200 a month, or is that less than $2,200 a month?
The less number has to have something to do with projects. The last year's $10,000 upgrades, the sheriff's servers and stuff, has to be factoring that in.
I'm sure
because
some
we
of
don't-
it possibly
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah,
when
we
you
don't- we
take
don't
our
spend
monthly
that.
amount, when we take our monthly amount
Yeah.
with you folks and then just take the day-to-day 8250 calls that we have to do, which I realize you're talking about doing away with those, whatever. When you figure those invoices out,
Yeah.
not
That's what
not
I'm-
the equipment, not
Not the
it's
standard
it's a
protections in place.
yes.
So,
But other than
Oh,
that,
yeah, that probably is including
Let's-
some of
let's
the...
do I
talk,
need to
let's-
stay?
You need to stay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like.
let's talk.
Why, are you wanting to be somewhere else?
Yeah. I'm at convention next week and I have budget stuff to do.
Oh, and it's Friday.
Like I get to go anywhere,
Well,
but
so let's just talk purely service rate. and what the market rate is. So we're discounting the market rate today for Merrill County 20%. It's over $100 an hour for technical services in Missoula. Is that not in line with what you're finding? I mean, that 83 rate seems shocking to folks, and I'm looking at it saying, well, I'm $20 less an hour. I mean, I took my RV into Gold Boats, you know, just our little camper deal, and looked up at the sign there, and shop rate for camper repair is 100. IT people have not suffered one iota in this economic downturn because the skill sets are so, I mean, I have a hard time, and you guys have experienced some of it, you know, retaining people because they get sucked into the hospitals, they get sucked into the banks, you know. And again, I'm not trying to make my problems your problem, I'm just trying to speak reality that 83 an hour is not some outrageous amount. We looked before we came out, we've had about 60 hours annually of support services. So that's $4,800.
And about 1,000 a month in reoccurring.
Services.
So I don't get
No, I think
20,000.
The rate isn't the problem. I think where they're coming in under you guys is they are not charging for remote assistance when we call on the telephone for help. So we're saving that $8,250 telephone call with their plan.
Well, I would be very, very surprised unless, again, it's a bait and switch of some company being able to provide unlimited help desk anytime somebody has an IT issue.
besides the cabling? I thought there was something.
No, cabling should be a one-time project. It's
Right.
Done, done.
That's what I'm trying to think of. I thought there was something else on top of the cabling that the money went towards. I don't know if it was.
They did something in the sheriff's office.
Oh.
I'm stuck on this money thing. Because some amount of money has to be budgeted for ongoing IT support, phone support, web support. And then some amount of money annually, goes to different upgrades and capital type improvements. On IT support today.
Oh, see.
Cindy, Tim,
Tim does what about 4 to 5 hours a week on?
Maybe. And Cindy, I think hers is like a percentage of like 3% or something of what she makes an hour. Just because that's how it was figured in, because that was part of her job. So when I budget, I don't think he'll have any on that one because he was at that training. He might have something the week before though.
well, let me ask a different way. Do you think $20,000 a year for IT management and help desk and formal planning is an unrealistic amount for a county this size?
Is $20,000 too high
For help desk, IT management, and formal planning. Whether you were doing it inside or outside.
I don't know, I just know that $10,000 is a lot of money on our budget.
So what do you think is realistic? And I'm only bringing this up because I've had this conversation with commissioners in the past. And the answer has been exactly as you answered it. It's too much. So let's do something less than, but also get something less than the result that we're looking for.
Less than, but also looking for the result.
But also get less result than we're looking for.
So the same, too cheap.
No.
We tell them that every year when it comes to hiring people.
What I'm saying, Dwayne, is it's reality.
Yeah,
And
and it is
so-
reality, but reality of
What
where
I-
we live and the.
Right, so, I know you guys live in reality and I live in reality. So if, there's not a doubt in my mind that, 2200 and the monthly program makes all these problems go away, but it doesn't make the financial problem go away, right? So, given that that's not doable from a financial standpoint, and we all live in reality, I think we should back up a little bit and say, okay, how can we best work over the next 3 months, given financial realities and resources, and try and make that work? And if you give me a budget, I'll do that. I'll also tell you what I think you're not getting at the end of the next 3 months and what it would cost. But again, I'm personally, I think, off on the wrong foot from the get-go from the first standpoint. And at the same time, I don't think she fully understands what we can be doing and how to work together.
I guess maybe the other response back might be that we thought that maybe within the last 5 to 7 years that that kind of stuff could have been accomplished
Stacy.
already.
I don't mean to point fingers and say that somebody was sitting here, but I don't think we heard the message. And, from our standpoint, who we've been assigned to work with as the assigned point of contact. And we saw it sitting here. Pretty happy with what we're doing. So I can't work on the problem if I don't know it.
Well, then why don't we offer today is the 2,200 a month program for 3 months. Trial basis. So, get money back.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't feel like I'm probably educated enough to say yea or no. I'm thinking maybe if we, I don't know, time to talk to the county attorney, the other department director heads, and then maybe try to look into the apples to apples more thoroughly and you gave a good talk, but like I said, and I gotta see where we are at with how much money we can put in. Maybe it's stuff that doesn't affect in the future contract, maybe just cabling, like you said, cabling is good, but
But you already signed that contract
which date was that signed?
last week.
Oh, when I was, well,
Cabling one or something else.
I believe it was a service one, but I don't know.
there was like several parts to it. I'll have to look and see if we did that. But yeah, I'll have to look, have to examine it, talk about it, and maybe see. At least that's what my opinion. So, like you say, what you think.
That's right. Anytime we have, we've always gotten in trouble. I would agree with that.
Well, here's where I will support what you said earlier, in that it bugs me that we didn't get the message until a boiling point. And do we have responsibility in that? I can't sit here and look at, it's review, yeah, we do. So, I accept responsibility for that. At the same time, I do believe there's some good here. And that if what I think are, she's not sitting here and she doesn't care. She's not passionate because she doesn't care. So, if you take some people that care and put them on a problem, and they work together, you can end up with really good results. So I'm gonna shut up, and I'm just gonna tell you the best way I know how that I care. And I do not want to leave this county this way. And 3 months, I think that'd be the difference. Fair enough.
Do some checking, give it some thought, talk.
I appreciate you hearing us and taking the time.
Thanks for coming out.
Put, before you go, can you put, because they'll probably want it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
draw something up and send it to them that says
Yeah.
exactly what's included in that, so then
Completely.
the apples to apples
Apples.
Yeah.
fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, very fair.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Stacy, it's sort of
Here.
nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Because I hear good things about you as a person.
Thanks a lot.
I'm not a
I'm
bad
sorry your
person.
son did that. so
And
I really
Cindy's
wish
an
I heard
awesome
from
person,
you.
but the
Yeah.
problem is she won't always, if one of us is upset, she won't relay it because she loves people. She loves you guys
Thanks
dearly,
for
and
not-
she's not gonna upset you.
Thanks for not flying across the table.
I'm not
I-
like
I wish-
that.
No, anyway.
I just, if somebody's upset and they relay it to Cindy and she's the sole go-between, she tries to make everybody happy, so our upsettedness isn't necessarily gonna come across in those calls.
We probably need the fire along with the information.
I'm not
Little fire
harping
never
on
hurt
her, I
anybody.
just, she doesn't, she loves.
All right, well, I do
everybody.
appreciate you coming. I know you didn't have to be here, but whether you guys stay with First Call or not, it's important for us to hear things like that. So, thank you for not pulling any punches, okay?
Thanks.
See you guys.
Have a
Bye.
good one.
What's that?
I'll have the computer installed this week.
That was a Sharon Furman? Something,
I think you got it
something from the West End. And she said in the mail today
Why?
she
I
received
thought it
a,
was so much cheaper. Here, they give us
Cemetery?
unlimited
Cemetery
remote help
board
and support for
thingy.
$5.
Mhm.
This is the thing.
but it wasn't
When we
signed or
call for
anything, she
remote
doesn't know
help,
what she's
they
supposed to
use
do with it or what it means.
It was just,
Right.
So this is.
It
So
was
now-
that-
we're saving
it
money
was that
because
list
they're
of
not charging
requests
us
that
for
the
that.
cemetery board
And then here.
wanted people
Oh.
to know.
It's
I don't know if you were in there.
No, but I had heard
I-
something and I
Yeah,
heard
they
that
put a
Harold
list
laughed
together.
hysterically about it and.
That- we mailed that list out to each applicant.
Okay.
So that they
Said,
would
okay,
know.
they're doing
Okay.
2250, this is 1850.
So Cindy
and
just
then
needs
But
to
we
call her
picked-
back and
we
tell her.
picked anyway,
This
so.
Okay.
because
Yeah, because she's
Well-
like.
the money.
Well, we're
you
done
know,
for
I
this
mean,
week.
Hey,
anyway.
yeah, it's not just the money,
I'm
it's
kidding.
also
Right.
that it's taken 7
You're
years for
making
the
me feel
farm to
like
come
an
to the
ass.
table like this.
Who does?
Yeah,
mean,
I agree,
it's-
I agree.
that's
yeah.
why I'm
Tim comes and
happy
gets
for
me
it,
and
but,
says you have to go down there.
And yeah, who's to say these guys aren't
Well,
gonna find another
Then
way
they
to stick
start
it to us
asking
in
for
another
people.
category.
I'm like,
Well,
well,
that's
yeah,
it.
do
We
it.
don't know,
And-
but-
Yeah, and
I
this
don't
is
do that
this
crap.
month, the month
Yeah.
with DIS.
But you are the one that
Yeah,
works with it, you know.
well,
and-
you mean the
Yeah.
and I don't even know
We
when
don't.
signed the
It's-
part 4 of the contract. Gotta look at that, I don't know.
Is this with DIS, is it a month-to-month contract too, or is it a
Annual.
annual?
And we gotta find the contract. I thought we only did sign
I
parts
should,
1,
she
2, and
emailed it to
3.
me, so.
1 and 2 and 3, 1
Because you signed for the money,
in the cabling.
and then they did that, and they said, okay, are we doing the rest or not? And that was supposed to be what that other thing was signed.
So you're thinking that happened on that day I was on my reunion?
It was either then or the week
Hmm.
before, I don't remember. I just remember Cindy sending something to me.
Did I sign
I think you signed it.
it? Oh.
I
Way to
think.
go, Dwayne.
Oh.
I mean, and if you tell Matt that, you know, look, this is what they've given us as a proposal, so that if they aren't apples to apples identical, you give him the same thing.
Right.
And then you can make the decision.
And that's what, I guess maybe we should have done, is gotten a hold of
Ultimately.
First Call and say,
Well,
okay, we
and-
need, so we've got something to
Yeah.
compare to.
And like I said, none of that was ever relayed to any of us. So I have to say I'm a little bit guilty as far as what my expectations were. Obviously were not what, or I shouldn't just say my expectations, what everybody's expectations were. Obviously weren't exactly what the previous contracts involved.
Mhm.
We didn't know that. So when you've got Matt telling me, you know, hey, they should be able to tell you ahead of time what you need, all this stuff. I didn't know they put proposals in for new cabling and stuff. I didn't know they'd ever brought that up to our attention. Nobody
Well,
had ever
the way-
said anything to us.
Yeah, and I don't, the way I
And-
remember that stuff coming in, like, after we got the phones, I mean, that was
Mhm.
when I first started. Then there would be a, and correct me if I'm wrong there, Cindy, but there would be a, well, you can upgrade, and we'll do this for X amount of dollars, and then, I mean, just
And
like
they
I
don't
said,
explain the why.
it's like an
Well-
extended warranty on a car. I've got a warranty already.
There's a Right. lot
I
of
mean, You
And-
told us, you sat right here and said this was gonna be the greatest thing since
Exactly.
sliced bread. It's
And-
not, and now you want me to upgrade?
And see, and like with them saying that that $2,200 a month includes, includes unlimited, you know, people coming out here. Well, it includes that for Matt too, it's just you have further mileage. But the thing is Matt's theory is, you take care of it at the initial, you get everybody up to par where they're supposed to be, and then you have your monthly charges, they take care of everything remotely. There shouldn't be any need for anybody to come out here, except the rare occasion that one of us decides to get really pissed off and throw it out the window or something. I mean, you know, but I think that's where the difference is too.
Did I sign something with DIS that week that Roman was gone?
I think yes, you did,
Oh. What did I sign?
the new contract. You knew
See,
you
and like I
signed it.
told Connor and the other guy, Cindy, while you weren't in here, sometimes when we're really upset, you don't necessarily portray that across because you love people and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Whereas sometimes maybe they should have been relayed how miserable some people were.
Well,
Not that I'm
and-
blaming you by any means, I
Well,
understand
in
why they
parts
didn't
of
know.
this, I have to take the blame because I either didn't have time because like they said, the IT was, that this is not all there.
No.
A lot of this does have to do with me not having the time to devote to everything, not being
Oh,
able to
totally.
work around people's offices that have schedules. I can go work on Tim or Candace anytime. I
Right.
cannot do that in your office.
Well,
They
and-
cannot do that in your office, when you've got to have what you, and it's different situations, and that is what I was not relaying to them when you said, I'm busy, I can't do this right now.
well, yeah, I'm not being
Because
difficult.
every time somebody calls me, that thought goes through my mind,
Oh, yeah.
but I just
But
don't
there-
say it because I'm me.
Well, but there's certain times I just can't, you can't just drop everything. But like I told these guys too, we were